Aquaba, welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Tony. This is my wife Ayo. We're documenting our move from Texas to Ghana as we go beyond the return.
And in this video, we're asking the question.
We're live first. In this video, we're live.
But we're talking about whether the term expat is racist.
Expat, baby.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting video because I feel like whenever we talk about race and or racism, we'll have some things to say. So hopefully you are in the comments with us, joining us live here and able to put in your 2 cents worth.
Yeah, because I want to know like what we should be calling ourselves.
Uh-oh, this is going to be a bad video.
No, this video is really directly in response to a comment we got on in our Facebook group.
Yes. And we love to have comments and conversations there because I think it really lets us all benefit from the collective, right? We all get to benefit from the knowledge of everyone else. So nothing that we are saying here today is an attack or payback for making comments about the term expat, just so you know.
Yeah.
I have to put that out there. That's my disclaimer moment.
I have a disclaimer too.
Uh-oh,
you're kind of cute tonight. Like, whoa, Cindy was right. I was like, what you talking about? You do look kind of cute tonight.
Thanks. I smeared some Vaseline on the lens, so it was nice and glowy for me. That's what it is.
Yeah. Totally off topic, but I just had to put that out there.
Thank you.
Looking nice tonight, Miss Jones.
Hey, thanks. Not too bad yourself there.
Yeah, so Miss Jones, that's something you answered to.
Yes, I do. And I actually have a couple of other things to throw into this conversation about racism based on comments that people put on our videos. Let me just say this for everybody to hear, right? I know that it's a social media platform and it empowers people who are not standing face to face with others to say things that they might not usually say in person.
You keyboard bullies.
Just a reminder, we're actual people, everyday normal people with feelings.
And I have 5 older brothers, so I like to fight. So
I don't like to fight. I like to verbally spar.
Yeah, I just get down and dirty. I'm the youngest of 5 boys, so I'm 6 boys. I'm the
you got a lot of them.
Boy. I got 5 older brothers, so keyboard bullies. I'm the guy who responds like, "Yeah, if you was here, I'll beat your butt." That's me. I'm like, "Oh, thank you for your eloquent opinion of whatever."
I think everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Yeah,
I think that is okay, and so I think that if you can back up what you say with something factual, you should be empowered to say it.
Yeah.
But if you're just making stuff up.
Yeah. So what are we talking about?
Well, are you gonna
before we dive into that, because it's gonna be good. Trust me, it's gonna be good.
Before we dive in, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. Yeah. We come here live the last Friday of every month to kind of answer people's questions about moving to Ghana, moving abroad, living life as an expat. Can I say that? I don't know.
Yeah, as an expat. What else is it?
And just kind of the experience that we've had over the last 3 years of living outside of America. But you have some shout outs before we get into that, right?
Yes. Okay, so we've been advertising these group tours, and
you just had a huge group come through.
Me and my big mouth, somebody came through, about 50 people on tour. So we love that. And they're the rep for the group, Susan Kim. Susan Kim, you are awesome. We hope your group had a great time with us.
Let's not say hope, because I saw a video of y'all dancing and out having a good old time. You had a good time.
It was an awesome time. It really was. We were really honored that you chose us to be your tour guide here in Ghana, and we really support your mission here in Ghana with all that you plan to do. So thank you for booking your tour with us. And
great group.
From Sarah and Princess and Maxwell, we all thank you.
They were a good group.
Yeah,
They were a good
great
group.
group. Great
You were
group.
out at the airport several times this month.
Several times this month.
A lot of people coming and going
A
this month.
lot of people coming and going. I want to shout out to Adrian from Buffalo. I was sitting with a couple young ladies, Miss Ann Dodge and Sharisha. Um, we had airport pickup, and then we were just sitting having lunch. And Adrian from Buffalo was like, "Yo, I didn't recognize the face, but I knew that voice."
Everybody says that.
Right.
Is it you with the voice?
I guess.
Very
So
distinctive.
she popped over to say hi to me, so we appreciate that. And Andrew Amoa.
Yeah, you got spotted from him just recently. Where were you out
Yeah,
at?
I'm trying to think was I.
Was that the airport?
It was at the airport.
Was it the airport?
It was at the airport. Yeah, yeah. Again at the airport. We've been busy at the airport, so I've been at the airport lately. So yeah, Andrew was at the airport. He yeah spotted me at the airport too. So, yeah, I don't just have drivers doing airport pickups. When the drivers are busy with whatever they're doing, driving around and tours and that, I have to go and do airport pickup. So
You've been doing a lot of airport pickup.
I'm not saying that as a.
The other day you were at the airport
I enjoy
3
them.
times.
Yeah,
in one day.
I know. I enjoy them, but not the 3 times in one day.
That was a little much.
But it was fun. I still enjoy them.
Well, that was a good set of shout outs. We had a couple.
Oh wait, I have another shout out.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out to my good friend Shalonda and her new husband Nee. I just heard of the matrimony that took place here in Ghana, and I'm like so excited for you too.
But trying to figure out how we didn't get an invite.
I know I was a little upset at that, but we'll talk about it when you come back because I know you coming back. And just want to say congratulations to those two.
Yeah. And when we were out at the Green Butterfly Market, we had quite a few people who stopped and chatted with us. So I didn't write down everybody's name, so I can't tell you who everyone was.
I remember Daryl.
That was the guy with the cube? Like he had, what was it? It was like Cuban fusion.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but the food was good. I brought some of that sauce home, and I've been in my mind like, thanks, Daryl. Every time I pop open that sauce, I'm like, thanks, Daryl.
He'll be back soon, Daryl, because he's almost out of sauce.
Green Butterfly, the first.
And what was the juice lady? The juice lady's juice was so good.
I can't remember.
I can't remember her name either. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna look though. But the juice, she had a ginger juice.
But it wasn't, ginger here is like so strong. So her ginger was soft, and it was like, whoa, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Even her pineapple juice was. Look up her name. I want to give her a shout out. Even her pineapple juice was a little different. It was not as sweet, but you couldn't stop drinking. Like, man, this is good. So a lot of people at the Green Butterfly market at the Parks and Gardens department in Accra, first and third Saturday. So there's going to be one tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first.
Oh my gosh, it's been 2 weeks already?
Oh, wait, no.
Wait, is it the first Saturday? No, is it the first tomorrow?
No, the first is it's next week, not tomorrow. Next week.
I was like, we were just there.
I know.
But if you missed that video, definitely check it out.
This is the 5th.
Yes,
Saturday,
this is the 5th one. Keisha? Is that right?
Keisha Juice.
I can't remember her name.
Essa.
Anyway, that's her juice.
Yeah,
the stuff was delicious. But you know what? Honestly, there were so many good things there. There was a Korean family that was making the most delicious food. You had the pork station.
Oh, the pork. They had people from Mexico making
tortilla, like
Mexican food. Oh, mind blown.
Listen.
Shout out to Gold Coast too. Their Gold Coast is always good. Their food.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
So, I mean, like you can taste of everywhere. Not just taste of Ghana at that one. So that was a good one. So shout out to all the folks over at Green Butterfly Market.
We did a video on that last week or so. So go check it out.
But for those of you who joined us there and said hello, thanks for joining.
Hey y'all.
All right, so we made it through shout outs. We should hop into comments.
Comments real quick.
Before we get into these comments too much, I feel like before we start reading I made my disclaimer about, we're talking about racism, so we always have to make sure that the YouTube folks aren't angry. But for those of you who are planning on jumping into the comments, please remember, kindness matters.
Yep.
All right, that was it.
I got a cousin who works in security. He'll find you. We'll meet up with you at the bowling alley when you least expect it.
Antonio says,
Antonio, what's up, man?
Hello. Jet, how are you doing? Good to see you.
All right, all the usuals.
Yes. Got some guy named Tony Jones writing comments.
Tony Jones writing comments. That dude.
Psychological observer. Racist.
That's a new.
I know, that's a new person.
I know. Yeah.
Racist. That's what most of us who have lived or live in other countries call each other expats.
Because you're.
Well, yeah, it's okay. Wahala made it. Hey. Spencer, looking cool.
Oh, Walter Manson.
SendWave, the title of the video caught their attention.
Oh, well, great.
What's up? Hope you're doing a December face-to-face. Are we doing it?
Yeah, well, man, if you stand with us, don't be coming, hey, Walter, man, Walt, I'm telling you now, man, don't come in December and not stay with us. At least stop by, have a club with me or something.
Definitely. Yeah. Melissa says she's coming on Monday. Travel safe.
Yes, Melissa. I'm more than likely will be the guy at the airport. Wait, no. Might be Maxwell, but we got you covered.
Heavy subject tonight, she says. It's okay. Yes. Big smiles. I don't believe you, Tony. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know.
Oh, Top Notch. Thank you, Top Notch.
Yeah. Isn't she, though? I know. It's like...
Good evening, everyone. Brother Mark. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Miss Renee, how you doing? Oh, wait, that's Linda. There she is. Hey, Miss Renee, how you doing? I had to tell the ladies you jumped in on to say, hey.
Uh-oh.
Miss Winifred, my beautiful couple. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Miss Winifred. That's Miss Winifred. I love her so much.
Noel, thank you. We are doing good, aren't we?
I'm doing good, feeling good.
Good. Hello to my favorite African. Thank you. Thank you. Provide a wealth of information for those of us considering the move out to the States. Sorry, this is happening in the space. I'm not sorry.
Yeah. No,
April,
I think something needs to be said. Yeah. I think sometimes you need to air out opinions.
I think opinions are great as long as they're coming from a non-hostile place.
Yeah.
You feel like I'm saying that thing over and over again?
Yeah. Bring the heat. I want all the smoke.
I don't know. P Black from ATL. What's up?
I figure out how I missed the green butterfly mark. Oh yeah. Well, it happened. It was awesome.
It's okay. Next trip.
I'm in Ghana. Who's that? I'm in Ghana. Love my family and people, but God knows the city of Accra is so badly managed compared to many other worlds. Yes, it's sad for all the money in the city. This is the quality of. Agreed.
Yes.
It could be a lot better here.
But I was talking to someone just the other day about the water issue in Flint. Someone here, because they were kind of in this place where they were talking about how everything in the States was perfection. And I started to have a little bit of historical conversations about things that have happened stateside. And they almost didn't believe the things that I was saying. So yes, there are problems, but there are problems everywhere.
All over.
You guys have been selected for an award this year. I'll bring it when you come. Oh, Walter's bringing us an award? Did we win? Whatever it is, did we win?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah. Noel says the foods in Africa is non-GMO and organic. I see a video that Bill Gates is pushing killer foods in the junk foods.
I think Bill Gates ought to stick to American issues.
Well,
there's, obesity is a problem in America. Bill Gates should start there. Obesity isn't an issue so much here.
We were at the American grocery store the other day, and after eating the tacos at Green Butterfly, I really wanted to make tacos because I was like, those tacos were so good. They made it here. It can be done. So I was at the American grocery store and I saw that they had some refried beans. And I was like, oh my gosh, I should totally get refried beans so I can make tacos. And I grabbed the can and I was just looking honestly for expiration dates and just kind of, and I looked on the back and it said made with non-food. What did it say? Made with non-food material or something to this extent. And I was like,
Well,
what is that
it's
here?
not food. Why are you saying I should eat it?
All I could look at was this can of American food here
Hmm.
in Ghana and think about how when I go to the Ghanaian market, the beans is just the beans. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it came
I
from the farm.
I don't think a lot of Americans understand or know that, you can get two identical products and one could have 5 ingredients and one could have 30 ingredients. The one with 30 ingredients cannot be sold anywhere else but America.
It's like the mac and cheese thing.
Yeah.
It's like the mac and cheese thing. For those of you who are Americans who eat macaroni and cheese, you know that it is iconic for its bright orange coloring. And it's like the only place that they make it bright orange. In other countries, the food dye that they put in to make it that color is banned.
It's banned.
So when you have mac and cheese abroad, it's not orange, maybe a
It's
yellowy
yellow.
kind of pale.
Mhm.
So yeah,
But
it's
uh, so I think when people from outside of Africa start talking about food, and I'm like, yo, uh, no,
yeah, we don't eat the best.
yeah,
Darlene from Palm Beach, hello, hello. She'll be here in December. Can't wait to see us.
all right,
Hopefully, it'll be around
Darlene,
the time for the meet and greets.
okay,
Be good.
Brittenbach.
Hello
I don't
from
remember the
Kansas
name, but okay.
City.
Hey, Kansas City. They
We
made a song about Kansas City. Oh, the table shaker is here. He showed up. He showed up, y'all. Oh,
Monique is saying happy fall. It's actually just getting ready to be the hottest part of the year here. But what's the
yeah.
reason you picked this topic today?
For me,
Yeah, what is this reason?
um, because we didn't have nothing to talk about, and I thought this would be a great subject
You
without having to
started
come up with
talking
something.
about this like earlier in the week. You already
Yeah,
had this on your mind.
yeah, I
So
did. I was, and I did not, and I was very nice to not respond to him, to the person. I don't know why not. I was very nice to not respond on Facebook.
that's good.
I
Charmaine
chose
says
a lie.
they wanted to do the tour that you mentioned. Which tour did you mention already? Reach out at
Hello at expatlifeghana.com.
ta-da! Expats love you guys. Yay! I'm late, but I'm here. Ms. Watson.
Like, somebody, don't put your number over here. Y'all email us or something.
Tim and Charmaine. Husband says thank you for the pickup last year.
Oh yeah, hey, I remember y'all.
Bright orange, yuck.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Getting
getting
fake.
fake chicken approved.
Yeah, y'all getting, man. Hey, they're trying to kill you.
Yeah, but they have been. I mean, frozen chicken breasts have already been pumped in with so much.
Trying
Ugh.
to kill you.
Well, you know. Tony, where can I get a Caribbean brother to connect some real Ghanaian organic sisters? Noel,
Man, you gotta
all you gotta do
come
is come
here,
here,
man.
and
What are you
then
talking
that's all.
about, man? Show them you got a blue passport, they'll line up to marry you.
I mean, I laugh because it's basically true.
Yeah.
That's why Americans are not at all healthy. It's so much
Yeah.
processed food. Hey, from Washington D.C.
Bob Price talked about foods and ingredients that are not allowed in other. Yeah, I mean, just wake up.
Yes. Peace and
Peace and blessings,
blessings.
family. Rashid,
Amanda
Amanda. Hey,
says,
Amanda.
hey.
How you doing?
Greetings from Cleveland. Got some folks left. Okay, so I'm gonna
All right.
pop out of comments.
Yeah.
Been on a weight loss journey, lost 140 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
Dom, I'm with you on that. Since I gotta say, 3 years. Yesterday, it's official.
I know. Did
We've
you
been
see in our
here.
flashbacks?
Yeah, it's official. We've been here in Ghana 3 years yesterday.
Well, yesterday we left. So did we arrive yesterday? We arrived today. It's our 3-year anniversary today.
3-year anniversary today, we'll call it 3 year
Happy anniversary!
Oh,
Okay.
I'm a hug on it.
Okay.
Crazy. But yeah, so
Yeah.
three
But
years.
do you notice that you feel
My natural. I still eat just about as much as I did in the States, but I lost a lot of weight eating Ghanaian food because it's not processed.
I think that has a
It's
lot to do with
everything is like, yo, I'm still pounding this fufu, man. I'll be with you in a second. And it's like, I'm eating more organic food. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good.
yeah.
Well, now that we've
And
gotten
no,
into
I'm
our
not sick. You know,
God,
lost weight or something. No, I'm just
you're healthy.
yeah.
I guess it's time.
All right. So is expat a racist term?
So let's do you want to read the Facebook post so that people can, or do you want
Yes,
me to
I
read it?
do.
Do you want to read it? Okay.
So badly. Okay. So it says, hmm. It started with giving pleasantries about us in the channel, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. However, my suggestion is please stop identifying yourselves as expats. Just as you may not appreciate being called a brony, matter of fact, the expat or expatriate term is racist. In the lexicon of human migration, there are still hierarchical words created with the purpose of putting white people above everyone else. One of those remnants is the word expat. The Guardian, March 13th, 2015. You are an African on your own continent, even though you're born in the diaspora. You are equally African. Um, don't matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man in Africa. You're an African. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery in order to find our true identity. Only then can we reclaim our place in humanity. Many thanks.
So there's a couple of things to unpack here.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first things is the um, idea that the term expatriate or expat is racist by remnants. You want to start with that one? That's kind of the biggest part of it, but you want to start there?
Well, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that one? I have thoughts.
Yeah. Well, it's an identifier, and
I guess the idea here is
I
that
don't
like
see it as
white
being
people used it
racist.
to identify themselves, and so it's attached to
White
whiteness.
people.
But
When you travel and relocate to another place, it's how those people and who traveled and moved to a different place identify each other as.
here's the interesting thing is that if a white person were to travel to another country, they are accepted at a different openness.
It's a class thing, maybe.
Well, I think it's a class thing and a race thing. Like even when you think about people who migrate to the States,
Hmm.
right? People who come from white countries call themselves expats,
Hmm.
but well, or are called expatriates. Whereas migrants
Hmm.
and immigrants and refugees are reserved for maybe people who are coming from non-white countries. Do you
Hmm.
think that
That's where
that's the
racist.
racist piece of the expat conversation? I mean, that's the only connection that I can make. You're making a face like that was a stretch.
No.
So I think this person really wanted us,
Deep thought.
they wanted us to refer to ourselves as migrants or immigrants.
Mm. Now,
I would think the opposite would be true. Shouldn't we stop referring to people as migrants and call them expatriates?
yeah. Well, see, I think if for me, like the term immigrant or migrant, well, more immigrant.
Hmm.
The term immigrant is seen more negatively.
Hmm. Which is why I think it's interesting that he wants us to self-assign.
Yeah.
If he's going to make the distinction between the terms, that he wants us to self-assign one that is less favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, I'm kind of dancing around because I'm not speaking freely yet. It's coming.
I'm worried about that.
Just
okay. Well, so does the fact that expatriate implies, and he referenced Obroni there, which is kind of the term used here in Ghana, that it's the term that means foreigner, the local term that means foreigner, but it does also kind of blur that line to mean white person. But I think that's because it's easier to identify a white person amongst amongst the population. But I get called Obroni. You get called American man. The kids get called. I mean, I know some people get really offended by that term, but it literally is just the term that means foreigner.
Yeah.
So is it that people are hypersensitive to their race having lived in America, and so now don't call me Obroni, don't call me expat, don't call me don't call me a migrant, don't call me an immigrant, I'm not a refugee. Is that how this term is getting? Is that American baggage?
Well,
I threw a lot out there in one little.
Yeah, you really did. I'm just like,
you're his foot, y'all. His foot just started shaking under the table, which means he's got something to say.
Here we go. So
and you don't want to say it.
Where's the table shaker at? Where's he at again? Where's that table shaker at? All right, table shaker. I used to get in trouble a lot when I was a little kid because somebody called me something, I'd be ready to fight them. And my dad set me down and said, son, it's not what people call you, but it's what you answer to. So I let people call me whatever they want to call me. But it's what I answer to. I can't call myself Ghanaian. I'm not. Even if I took a DNA test and DNA test said you're 100% Ghanaian, man. We don't know how miraculous this was, but you're 100% Ghanaian. And the fact that I was born in the States or outside of Ghana, people will look at me different, not like they would somebody who was born here. So I find it interesting when people come here and they take a DNA test and say, "Oh yeah, I found out I'm Ghanaian," and so to hear them call themselves Ghanaian, and then to see how the actual Ghanaian people look at them, they're like, "Ooh, hold on a second now, pump your brakes." Took a DNA test that said, you got blood from Ghana, you're not Ghanaian. So I can't call myself Ghanaian because I know Ghanaian men, my friends, who born and raised in Ghana, from Community 9 to
all over.
where George was here in 6. And all over, the Greater Accra area. They're born here, raised here, left as a teenager or in their early 20s, have come back. Now they're in their 50s, right? The people here don't even look at them like they're Ghanaian anymore.
No,
they call
them Obroni.
Yeah, and what I find really weird is like they look at me like that. They until I open my mouth, people talk to me in Tree or Ga or whatever. They don't know until I open my mouth that I'm not Ghanaian,
which you just eat up.
Yeah, it's so funny to me. But even
but even then, they still think you were born here and you went abroad and now you've come back. That I think is the base assumption when you interact with people.
So I still, even with that acceptance that they're like, yo, he one of us. And I'll hear plenty of times and things I do from my I say my coworkers, yes, because we all work together. They're like, yo, man, you're more Ghanaian than I am now, man. You just, yo, I'm real tight with the money now. So they like, hear me. They hear me. Yeah, they hear me.
Isn't that the doom sower and the bucket bass that made you today?
No, it's like, yo, I think you got too much. You got too much of a good deal on that dude. Yo, yeah. So it's like, yeah, I haggle my butt off. Now I walk away from people and that just to hear them footsteps running behind me. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah. So it's a matter. He referenced something in what he said, and I want to clean that up for him.
Wait, well, so do you consider yourself to be in?
I'm about to bring that to him right here. He referenced it. Here it is, and by saying you are an African on your own continent, even though born in the diaspora. That Kwame Nkrumah said, "I am not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa was born in me." I kind of live. I kind of live off of that mantra where I feel that. I'm very comfortable here in Ghana. And if you know me in the States, people are like, yo, I didn't think dude would be that comfortable. I'm very comfortable here.
You're a little too comfortable.
Yeah. And why is that? Well, because Africa was born in me. That's why. It's just something about Ghana that, you know, no matter how much I love being here, I'm not Ghanaian. I can't say I'm Ghanaian. So I don't go around under disguise that I'm Ghanaian or something. I don't do that, So I recognize I'm an expatriate here. And by definition, that's what I am. This is not my home country. I chose to leave the States and come move here. So by definition, that's what I am. That's what they see. And no matter how much I hear American man, and I love it because it's a recognition. Hey, this dude from the States, but he here, he
Yeah.
I get all the love anybody else would get. I give all the love anybody else would give. That's what they see. So it's not so much the title of expatriate. They don't even care about that. It's a matter of how are you integrating in the system here? How are you shoulder to shoulder with us? That's what they see. That's what they respond to. Not the namesake, but what they see, how you're interacting. That's where you get
Well, when I get that,
who you are.
but the term expat is a global thing. It's not a term
Right.
that's just for Africa or just for Ghana. It's something that happens globally. And so, does it hold a racist marker in a global sense? Are expats wealthy white people and immigrants and migrants less wealthy brown and black people?
Because that's how we label them. But I mean, the term or the title goes to either, no matter what. It describes both.
Well, and we all, I know I'm going to jump in the comments for just a couple seconds because I feel like we have some people who are raising their eyebrow, telling people that they need to open up a little bit of a dictionary and define racism. Sitvic says it's a person who lives outside of their native country. As a British expat who's been living in Amsterdam for 14 years, it's a notation of living outside of their country. Yes, Tony, I was an expat when I lived in the Bahamas. Context is king. If you use the term expat, you imply superiority. Then, of course, it's racist or at least condescending, but it is used to describe a status like being from the US. It's fine. But wouldn't an expat be someone who was from France going to Amsterdam, or from Australia going to Antarctica?
Could you be an expat if you're coming from like what's one of the places south of the border that are Venezuela, and you're going to the States? You can expat.
Well, and it's interesting because when you think about the lexicon, this is where my teacher self is going to come out. So y'all just going to have to hold up just a second for me. When you think about the lexicon of the word immigrant and migrant, the terminology is distinguished between a person who is going to something and is a person who is running from something. Do you think maybe as an expat, maybe that doesn't apply? Maybe it's based out of an internal desire and not a necessity or need.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to think about it that
Yeah,
way, right? Like you're
yeah,
not a migrant running away from something. You're not an immigrant going for opportunity. You came here as an expression of
yeah.
a
I
desire
mean,
for
you're
freedom and
choosing. It's
exploration.
a choice where it's of not. It's a. I'm trying to define the choices where one is more out of despair,
Hmm. Yeah.
and one is
I mean, one you're leaving,
lifestyle choice or
right?
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, is that the distinguisher? We've got someone here who says that black people should call themselves a returning national,
You know,
but you're not.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know
I
I
understand,
get
but
that
it's
part of it.
you're
Like,
not.
this
And the people here will remind you.
they really
Trust
will.
me, they will.
But it's interesting because
They'll side eye you.
you know
You're
the
by yourself. Mm.
the tourism Ghana Tourism Board is really welcoming people to come back home. Um, and maybe some people in America want black people to go back where they came from. But in both situations, you're not coming home because you've not been here.
Right.
It feels like you're having a return, but it's it's a place to acclimate to and to insert yourself into that you have to learn to be a part of. It's different than the idea that you're coming home.
Like, yeah, if I'm like saying, yeah, I'm Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
It's going to take you some getting used to. You're not just going to drop in like everything was the same. It's only been 15 years.
Damn. How long have we been out of here?
Oh no, it was a long time.
Like 20 years out of Milwaukee. That was it. Ooh, wow. Yeah, it's been 20. Lucas 15, it's been a couple years before that. Yeah,
Yeah,
almost 40
probably
years.
about 20 years.
Wow.
No migrants, immigrants. We are African. Come with it, Tony.
Uh,
And this one rubs me too a little bit. I know that when we talk about the human migration, we can trace ourselves all back to
we're all
Africa. We're
African.
all African.
We're
I
all African.
I know that.
Yeah.
But when you come to, as an American or a Western person to live in Africa,
You're not African. I mean, I understand we're from Africa, but
yeah. And I'm half African. I started coming here when I was a baby.
See, oh, I got a good one. See, like I'm bald. See, I can't grow hair. There's some people who are bald who can grow hair. I don't consider them to be bald because bald men to me are you can't grow hair. You're bald. You can grow hair, man. You fronting. You can grow hair. I envy people who cut their hair to be bald and who can grow hair. I envy those people. I'm like, why are you cutting your hair? You can grow hair. You just want to be bald. But I'm joking with it, but it's like if you understand, one is a natural thing. The other is, as it looks the same. It's the same, but it's a little different. And
Right.
one's a little more natural than the other.
And like you said earlier, even people who were born and raised here, who went to college abroad and came back, they themselves are still not.
They lose their black card, their African card. I'm serious. They don't. Okay, so they don't lose the black card. They lose the African card.
Right.
They do. I'm serious. George tells me that all the time. Yeah. It's like I'll call George up and I'll complain. Man, man, they just trying to scheme on me. I'm complaining, right? They're like, Tony, man, I know they do it to me all the time too. They look at me just the same.
They do.
And I'm like, first, like, yeah, man, I've been gone too long.
And he hasn't.
I'm like,
he wasn't gone that long.
He left like he was in his 20s, I think, you know,
right.
and now he's in his 50s.
But you know that to have the mindset too is if you've had the opportunity to travel outside of Ghana as a Ghanaian,
you come back,
you live a life of privilege.
Yeah,
you're privileged,
yeah,
and so you're different. You don't come back.
Yeah,
you come back different.
Yeah.
Well, Zita says, "Oh, nah." She's not referring to herself as an immigrant here in the motherland.
No, don't. But hey, again, it's not what they call you; it's what you answer to. So call yourself whatever you want,
Daniel,
and do this. People ask me where I'm from. I just say up north. They're okay. I leave it alone right there. Where you from? I know you've been gone a while. I leave it like that.
There you go.
Somebody started talking to me today, and I couldn't understand them. And I said, "Oh, I don't speak God." And said, "Oh, yeah, I don't get it." I clearly recognized they weren't speaking Tree by what he asked me.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I don't speak God." He said, "Oh, okay."
I was at the post office and the guy started speaking to me in Yoruba, and I was like, "Yo, I know my name is Yoruba, but I haven't been able to do that since I was like 4."
Yeah. So I stopped trying to label myself because I don't even know what I am. I'm Tony Jones.
But that's the thing too, is that the labels are so they're just arbitrary, aren't they?
Just label me as somebody who treats people respectfully and will fight you if you want.
I mean, technically, right? Technically, we are migrants leaving an oppressive country that is racist and a little bit unhappy and violent, as well as an immigrant coming to another country looking for opportunity, and an expatriate.
I'm here in Ghana for asylum because I think they're trying to kill me in the United States. If it's not the food, it's the systematic racism. It's not systematic racism. It's some Karen trying to call the police on me. It's not that. I'm joking.
No, you're not.
I know.
No, you're not joking.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm here. You can literally seek asylum here because of that, can't you? I mean, I hear they're trying to kill me over there. Prove it. I just did. Hey, I'm a black man coming from America. That's easy enough.
So, Darlene says she definitely does not like Obroni.
I don't like that either. But they call black people Obroni. Nobody's said that to me. So, call me Obroni.
That's because they think that you are here.
I know, it's so
funny. Enigmatic says it's quite weird to be black in Africa and refer to yourself as an expatriate. However, the word is being used appropriately. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just, there's a bridge that needs, a gap that needs to be bridged between, Africans and diasporans when it comes to that, I think.
But here's the thing too, is that as an African or a black person who goes to relocate to another country, like when my dad went to America, he was American. Are you saying he wasn't American because he wasn't going to his home? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're saying that all black people, you're African. No, it's like, wait a minute. Well, then, if you are a black person in America, are you not American because you're African, right?
Zane Asher says it best. Nigerian by blood. She's from the UK. She's British by birthright. She's American by residency.
So what does that mean?
Well, she just told you. She's Nigerian. That's what her blood say. and she got a couple Nigerian parents from Nigeria, but she's recognized that, hey, I was born here in British, in what do they call British? I don't know. I don't even like in England. In England, she was born in England. I don't even British. I'm goofy sometimes, y'all. It's Friday night, and I've been up since
You have been up all day.
yesterday.
Yes.
So, but she recognizes, well, who she is or where she's from. She recognizes her status in the present, and she recognizes the other status in the presence of, okay, I'm not where from residing where I was born,
Mm-hmm.
but where I'm residing, I'm a citizen there.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, where I'm residing, I'm a citizen here. I'm a citizen of Ghana. Can we just leave it at that?
Very interesting.
I'm a
Kwame,
resident of Ghana. How about that?
that is true. Kwame says the term expat should be renamed immigrant, and the term expat has been used by Caucasians to define themselves as if they are not immigrants.
But it goes
It's
back
like,
to the tail chasing them.
yeah.
It's like it's running in a
Kwame,
circle.
I get what you're saying. I think that by saying that the term expatriate, because it was used by white people to separate themselves, should only be is racist somehow, or
Yeah,
is not for black people.
yeah.
It's just very
It sounds like it's just a racist word to people because it was an identifier for white people.
but is it? I mean, there's
Because that's what everybody keeps saying, that's what white people call themselves. It's like, well, is that why it's racist then?
but remember too, expatriate means to live outside of your country, whereas immigrant and migrant are to leave your country and to go to another country, either for in search of prosperity or to flee persecution. So when you use the terms immigrants and migrants,
They're
it's
not.
very indicative of the reason that you're leaving your home country, not just the fact that you're leaving. If you have the privilege to leave your country by sitting around one Friday night on the sofa saying to your spouse, hey, have you thought about living abroad?
Mhm.
And then being like, sure, why not? Let's save a few pennies and do it. You're an expatriate. You've chosen and had the financial freedom to leave your country in search of something, um, in search of adventure, in search of uh, something different. It's 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 almost experiential. Whereas when you're talking about immigrants and you're talking about migrants, the purpose for that transfer is much different.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it has a racial tinge,
Yeah.
but maybe that's more about class and wealth and
Right.
less about race.
Yeah. I agree with that.
You
A whole
agree?
lot.
Oh, hey, that hardly ever happens.
Took 48 years.
Who's 48? Oh, when would the term expatriate be used to denote superiority? Expat is an identifier in the context of you and your YouTube channel. Please don't lower yourself to the lesser views of your channel. We know what you mean when you say expat to us. Thank you, P Black. Walter, so it could also be a group of people. It could also be like a group of people, right? It could be a group of people who are expatriates, yes.
Mhm.
In terms of nationality, you two are expats, just like I am European, says, and your comparison between expats and immigrants is correct. Thank you. You are a returning national or an African. I'm gonna Noella, this is just me calling, this is just me having an interjection moment, not based on what you're saying, but we get into the comments a lot, and I'm always shocked at what people will write in comments, especially about me.
Yeah.
Hello, I am the daughter of a naturally born Ghanaian man, a man who was born in Ghana from a Ghanaian mother, who was also born in Ghana from her Ghanaian parents. And so I always think it's very interesting because when we go into comments, somehow I get cast as what would be the right way? I get cast as the mixed chick who sometimes hates white people and hates herself
yeah,
and like all
it's
kinds
so
of like
funny. It's like,
crazy stuff.
oh, they
And
want to fight her husband.
but what happens is there was one comment in particular where someone said it must be very hard for white parents to raise children like me, biracial children, because they know that their kids are going to hate them. And I was like, whoa,
That was crazy.
I don't hate my parents. I appreciate being put into the group. He referenced Barack Obama as part of my little group. And I was like, hey, thank you for putting me in a group with Barack, but I don't hate my mother. I don't hate my white relatives. I don't hate my mixed relatives. I don't hate my black relatives. I like my family.
I like your family
I
too.
mean, I got a good family. I know some all black families and all white families and all Asian families and all Hispanic families who hate one another. So it's interesting for you to say that a white person giving birth to a mixed child is going to have to live with that hatred.
That was crazy. That was just
And I think that all wraps back into this racist conversation about expats, right? How I think of myself, just like what you were saying, right? How I think of myself is steeped in my own experiences and represents that journey that I've had. When someone else comes around and says, you are this, and that is bad. You are mixed, and mixed people are terrible. You are speak too well, and you're a little uppity. When you group a bunch of people together based on race or gender or sexual identity or any of the like, and then give them all attributes that you assume are a part of that person, that's on you, bro. That's on you. Why do we have to have conversations about things like expat versus migrant versus immigrant? What we are is a couple who have said that living in America is not the only option for people of color, and that it's worth the time and the effort to experience what it's like to be outside of America and the American construct. That's all we are.
yep.
You can call that whichever you like. Returning national. Am I a returning national? According to Ghana, I'm not, because you know how hard I had to work? Anyway. I'm just
I know for that. Like,
I know, right?
I know, really, I
I know. Do you remember when we went to the Kwame Nkrumah Museum and I was like, I am
That was
Ghanaian? And she was like, no.
No, you're not.
And I was like, no, I'm Ghanaian. And she was like, I have to see your Ghana card. You need to see my Ghana card?
And then when you point your Ghana card out, she's like, oh damn, this
She
chick got a card.
She
She's
was
like,
looking at it like
right?
she's gonna bite it, just like, are you sure? I was like,
She held it up to the light like it was a dollar bill or something. I was like, I've never seen that one before.
Yes, right. So there you go. I don't know if she considered me a returning national.
That was funny.
Kind of not.
That was funny because I was somewhere with Luke and he had to pay for something. I was like, no.
The same
and the same thing. They were like, no, that dude is not gonna. I was like, well, whatever. And they're like, I got to see his passport. He saw the passport. He was like,
oh,
yeah.
goodness. So yes, while globally people should not have to be considered expatriates when they have African blood within them and they come back to Africa. The lady at the ticket booth is still gonna ask you proof. Just saying.
Yeah. And it's something because I don't know if the person, I wanted to know, and Table Shaker. That's all I don't know. Table Shaker, you know who you are. You started all this crazy stuff. Like, where are you from? That because I couldn't tell by the name, but I thought you were from here. But then it was like, I don't know, because like if you were from here and you're around other Ghanaian men, like would you have still made that same comment? Would that be your point of view? And then I was like, well, sounds like somebody from the States. So I just
You have to know now.
I have to
Just for
know where you're
curiosity.
from, because
Just not
it's
for
just,
curiosity.
yeah. They call
Well,
me. They call me? They call me. A lot of people are calling me American man.
American man. Not
Like,
American man.
that's cool with me. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
First, they think you're the Nigerian guy because
yeah,
they start talking to you in street. Then they're like, "Oh, American man." As soon
yeah,
as you start talking and you have an American
Ghanaian
accent.
man,
Oh,
Nigerian.
sorry. Sorry. P Black says they don't answer to the N word no matter who says it.
Yeah, it's funny hearing people, because once in a while I'll be at my spot in Community 9 and I'll hear them and they'll use the N word. I'm like, then they'll say it again. I'm like, yo, man,
Who are you talking to?
don't say it to me because I don't say it. You don't hear me saying it. But then it was like, why? Why are they saying that here?
I have no idea. That's a cultural. They're appropriating American culture.
Yeah.
Kwame says it's outrageous to call a Black person who lives in Ghana an expat, migrant, or anything else because they're coming back to their place of origin. If you're going to say that, then when white people came, the white people living in South Africa are coming back to their place of origin.
Yeah, don't forget,
because all people are from Africa.
Africa is the birthplace of
Civilization.
So Germans can come here and like, oh, I'm African. Nah, birthplace. So
an immigrant is a permanent move and an expat is temporary, returning to your home country eventually, question mark. Oh, that's a question. Is that the difference? No, there's an expatriate. To be an expatriate doesn't necessarily.
There's no. But I'm only
right.
5 years at this. No, there's
which
none
is why
of that
repatriation is a term.
Mm-hmm.
I identify as Ghanaian American.
That's cool. Hey, I'm almost like, can I use that one? You can call me Ghanaian American.
You're gonna steal that one. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Ghana in March, I always introduced myself and asked people not to call me Obroni. I'd say if my people came from Africa, I can't be foreign to Africa. I understand the feeling behind saying I'm African and I belong in Africa. And I think a little bit of this feeds back to this American idea of like labeling Black people as not American, as African American, or as Negroes, or as colored. Or as, gosh, there's been a lot of terms.
Yeah,
there not been?
There's been all kinds of stuff.
But it's always been under the kind of guise of, you're not from here and you should go back to where you're from. But when you actually come back here, you're American. You born in America, you're American. Like Tony's saying, even people who were born here, who left for just 5, 10, 15, 20 years to live abroad, when they come back here, they are also referred to as Obroni or as a foreigner. And while, yes, it does usually signify a person of Caucasian descent, mostly because that's who sticks out the most, it's not necessarily you're carrying the negativity into that. It's not necessarily negative.
Yeah, and Obroni is not just a term used for white people. It's a term that describes a foreigner to the land, not just color.
Miss Mary is here to back that up. Miss Mary says Obroni is the Akan word for foreigner. It literally means those who come from over the horizon.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you. And while there may be some connection between that term and white people, it's only because in the beginning, those were the people that were coming over the horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
The local Ghanaian people have a poor understanding of history and an African worldview. Maybe. I would argue as a teacher in America for decades that Americans have a very poor understanding of history and an
African worldview.
And
An American worldview for that point.
both.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a lot of that going on. They aren't teaching us correctly. So we
Not
had to come
really.
over here and learn for ourselves.
Yep. You're Ghanaian if you become a citizen, right?
No, you're just a citizen in Ghana.
I mean, you could. Yep. I guess you could argue that if you're an
You're
American, you're
Ghanaian
part. Yeah.
national, but you're not Ghanaian. I don't know how to explain that one, but there's a difference. It's like being bald and shaving your head bald. Hey, I don't have to shave.
Yeah. I mean, but if you come, you're a Ghanaian citizen. Yes.
Mhm.
But do you bucket bath during Doomsor?
Bucket bath.
Aroni is a lazy
Water
term.
just came on from been out a whole week.
It did. Oh, that was a long week.
Whee.
Abroni is a lazy term for people who lack basic understanding of history and culture. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. Black people globally should refrain from calling themselves expats when in Africa.
Then what do we call ourselves? Immigrants?
But if you are in Africa as an African citizen, that's one thing. But you're saying that as an American citizen, as a British citizen, as a French citizen, you've come to Africa. You're not a citizen of this country. I understand that bloodline. I understand that connection. I understand that racially you are an African, and I completely understand that. But the term expatriate isn't defining your bloodline. It's not defining your race. It's saying
I'm from over there.
right.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, it's saying
Nothing else.
the borders to which your passport holds you.
Mhm.
It's an American baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
legal thing. Not a cultural
Hey,
thing.
I don't get caught up on it.
Well, but I think it's very interesting that people would say that, you shouldn't call yourself an expat. It's like, well, why not?
That's the easiest way to let you know, hey.
Yeah. Darlene says African was born in her too.
Hey, man.
People from the US make so much confusing talk. Yeah. Taylor,
Yeah.
hi from Arizona. Josh says, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. Technically, as long as you are a human, you're an African, right?
I like the way you did that one, yeah, because it's like the birth of civilization.
The business strategy analysis said, great analysis, however, doesn't mean that you call yourself an immigrant. We don't have to let government label us. Matter of fact, most, if not all, Ghanaian tribes migrated from somewhere else. And again, technically, all citizens migrated from somewhere else. Right?
Yeah, we all did.
Glad to catch you live. Interesting topic.
Yeah, thanks, Trisha, for hanging out with us.
Expat is anyone living outside of the country. Yep. It's not offensive to call expats Obroni. My family calls me Obroni sometimes, just as a sign of respect. Born in Ghana, and I'm assuming you left and lived abroad. Me Brony is even better. You should start using that when people call you. No, they don't ever call you that.
They never call me that.
I'm going to use that. Oh, Darlene says, go teacher. Thank you.
Yeah.
Expat is not inherently racist. It's just a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the most important thing is knowing your character. Labels don't matter. You know what? I think that's really it, right? I think that's really it.
Yeah. So overall, it's just not racist. It's just,
yeah.
It's not racist.
But you wanted to get in them comments and say all kinds of stuff. I was like,
Listen, because I was born, people start calling me this thing. Then out of nowhere, it's like, yo, you got to call yourself this thing. And like 5-10 years later, no, you got to call yourself this thing. And I was like, yo, man, don't put labels on me.
Yeah, just do your thing. We've got someone saying, pray for New York. It's looking more like Accra floodwaters are rising in everywhere over there. Yikes. Oh. And P Black says, I love a returning national. There you go. you have a Ghanaian father, so do you consider yourself a Ghanaian or an expat? I was
Born.
born in America as an American citizen and had to apply for Ghanaian citizenship because I was an American citizen. So technically, I'm an expat. I was born in Ghana, side of respect to be called Ibroni. Yes. Hey, it's raining. Can I just tell you, I have to just say this today. It started raining today, and the rain was very heavy today.
Yeah.
It was so loud, tin roof. I was like, we might not be able to go live today. Like,
I was thinking about that myself.
You are not coming home because you are not being welcomed. In Israel, Israel welcomes Jewish people back to Israel. You know what I actually think is very interesting is that as a Jewish person, every Jewish person looks forward to the opportunity to go to Israel. I would love it if every Black person got to experience the rite of passage of coming to Africa. Not necessarily Ghana, anywhere in Africa.
Anywhere.
Yep.
So South Africa. That's like Africa light, it's Africa-ish.
Stop, you're gonna get people mad at you. So, when you say Israel welcomes Jewish people back to Israel, yes, as a rite of passage, that's culturally ingrained and part of growing up. I would love that. Why don't we do that? Why don't we say that?
Because they demonized Africa and the United States and made us hate ourselves. But now people like us are changing that story.
Kwame, I'm so glad that you are very passionate about this conversation and that you're going to quote Malcolm X said that if a dog is born in a stable, does that make that dog a horse?
Person is born in a garage. Why'd you name him Cadillac? I know a dude named Cadillac. His name Cadillac Williams. I was like, you was born in a garage, wasn't you? Your parents did it in a Cadillac in the garage, didn't it? Why you name your kid? Because it was born in a garage. So does the guy who was born in a garage who calls himself a Cadillac go around going beep beep vroom, vroom?
Oh my gosh, you have just where did you go with that?
I know they're like so now that I'm in Ghana, I act Ghanaian as much as I can. What does it mean to act Ghanaian?
I don't know. Fuck at that.
I do this a lot.
It's not until you start doing the thing with your finger that, that one. I was in Togo for 18 years. They said that you don't look Togolese, and I had an accent in my Owe dialect. But that's just the thing, is that the term expatriate and migrant and immigrant are all based on nationality. And I think Kwame is trying to tie that in directly with race. And it's not. And I get that there's that overlap with a sense of being stolen from Africa and wanting to return, but I don't know. I can't give it to you, Kwame. And whoever the dude is in the Facebook group, I can't remember his name right now. Yeah. So I think that kind of hits it, right? So what's the final verdict? Is expatriate a racist?
No, it's people that did not understand the term itself. They didn't understand the usage of it. They didn't understand more than they did, I guess. I'm a little tired. I've been up since like yesterday.
You're done.
And to be honest with you, I have a group out right now.
And you have to go.
And I have to go.
Well, Lisa's GTO, I just saw you down there, and I wanted to say hi. Love and life with Lainey. Hi. I just wanted to say hi. I see you guys down there. We have a ton of comments. We will jump into comments after we end this live. So keep the conversation going. It's really interesting to see what people think. Did I pass something that you wanted to see?
No, I was gonna say, do you want to do one of them?
Yep,
Yeah.
I sure am. Whew. So that is that moment. So yep, if you want to keep the conversation going, you want to put in your 2 cents, please drop a comment and let us know. Whew, that was a lot. That was
She
a
was
lot.
talking about the N word. Crazy to hear over here.
Join the conversation. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.
So we are going to hop in right now and just do a couple of closing thoughts here. First off, group special is still going on. You had the 53 people. Is it 53?
It was
53 people group in. That one, you need a nap after that one, but that was fun. You had a good time. So just for those of you who are wondering, evidently we can do 53.
I need a nap after this group.
Three.
Now it is like 3 people, but I'm their driver, and it's just been busy, and it's like, whoa, man, I forgot how busy it is to drive people around all day, and then get up the next day and drive them around again, and get up the next day, and like, I'm ready to drive you. I'm like, whoa, man, what's my
Sorry. Rodney wants to know what happens when there's a car accident here.
You know what, man? They make you get insurance, but the insurance don't come.
They don't cover anything, but they make you get it.
Yeah.
Yay.
So what happens when there's a car accident? Well, a whole bunch of people stand around for a while, and then they complain that, okay, we stood around, now get out of the way, and then can't get out of the way because now the traffic is so choked, nobody can move. And then the police come and they're mad because the traffic is so choked. And then people start dispersing, but that's about an hour. It depends on how bad the accident is.
Basically, it sucks.
But if it's a bad accident, they jump out and try to make sure everybody's all right, and then they start standing around, and it gets choked, and then the police come and they're mad because that's what happens when there's a car accident. But don't call the insurance people because they ain't gonna do nothing for you.
James wants to know, did you know Tema was Nkrumah's idea?
Yes, I did. That's why we live in Tema.
That's not why.
But that's why we really enjoy Tema. I mean,
we really like Tema, and that is actually why.
It's developed like an American city with
it makes
blocks.
Sense.
Yeah. It's very.
Yeah.
It feels like
old Tema, not new Tema.
Not them community.
22, 25.
Yeah, then 18.
No. Old Tema, Old Town.
1 through 12. That's Tema to me.
Yep. Joy says, thanks so much, Tony. Thanks so much for the tour experience. Will you have another big group again? You've been talking about doing dedicated days for tours, so you can get more people in on the experience, and they can kind of share that together. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's like every Friday will be like a Bree day for tours, and every Wednesday will be, Cape Coast, Elmina tour. So something like that. We're working on that because
I think it's nice to have a group of folks together.
Yeah.
I think the experience is a little
moving people together like that, and they're like, oh wow, I missed this.
But then you meet,
they really get into it together.
And there's somebody else to kind of banter with about it. That's what I noticed about folks. So yeah, Joy. Letitia wants to know, what happens if my visa doesn't get here in time?
Oh.
You can't come in without a visa. That just happened, didn't it? Somebody was coming and they had to cancel their pickup.
Yeah. It depends on Leticia. Is this Leticia W or is...
I'm not sure.
Leticia,
it was in the comments.
Oh, okay.
It was. Well, comments.
If your visa doesn't get there in time, you got to reschedule that flight.
Yeah, you got to have it. The airport won't even let you on the plane without it, unless Ghana is doing one of their visa on arrival windows, which has only been once in the last.
Yeah, it was just December.
6 years.
Yeah, 15th through January 15th for a holiday.
Yeah, they should. Maybe this year they'll do it again.
I hope they do.
If they do, hop on a plane.
If they do, and I think we should find. I'm gonna talk to somebody that did. I don't want to talk to them yet.
Evan says, when is the next party?
I think it's the first weekend of December.
I
don't know. We don't do something crazy. I don't do. I just don't know.
Don't let him go too crazy. Y'all, if you are still here, please take 1 second and hit the like button. That way, YouTube knows that you like us. So do that for us, please.
Hi, I'm Leo. Subscribe right now.
All right, I can see y'all are still popping in and out in the comments, but we are going to wrap this up because, well, Tony got to go.
I got to go to Passions. If you're in Timma and you're hanging out and still listening, I'm headed to Passions. I got a group there. So to my party with them this year last weekend, and I'm headed to Passions to party. As tired as I am. And guess what? Tomorrow you're going to be at Bodie Falls. I'll be at Bodie Falls at about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for a couple hours.
You don't need a nap
out there in the mountains. Yeah.
Bodie Falls, though. You have it.
Bodie Falls is beautiful. They have the double waterfall there. It's
so pretty.
One of my favorite places. Now, I put on the Facebook group that we're starting tours going out to Bodie Falls. So
you
going
just
out
went
to Bodie Falls.
Yeah, the video you sent me back from your last trip, beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. Worth it. All right. Well, I guess then that's that's a wrap.
Yeah. So
you want to sign us off?
Yeah, I'm leaving. Charlie out for now.
I just want y'all to know that as I was getting dressed for the video today, I had to go ahead and put on my Expat Live Ghana t-shirt as an afterthought because I wanted to make sure that
and I'm still holding tight to if you
don't say it again. I don't want to hear it.
You order one of these shirts, and I'll give you a free. How did your shirt? Give me an airport pickup.
I like your shirt too. Actually,
I like this one, black shirt.
I almost put that on the other day, but it looks good in that blue color.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, I'm an expat, living my expat life. Just want to say that.
Get the shirt. I'll give you a free airport pickup. Unless you go into like Cape Coast or something. I'm like, hey, thanks for buying the shirt.